Welcome to my channel, you fragrance fans out there. I'm Thomas, and today I want to share with you my top 5 niche fragrances for the upcoming fall of 2018. Those will be the 5 fragrances out of my collection that I think I'm going to be wearing the most in this fall. And I've added 2 honorable mentions, each one for a different reason, to this list. So let's dive straight in. I would like to start off my list with an honorable mention. This one is Cuir Garamant by MDCI Parfums, or at least I think it is. A friend of mine sent me a few samples, but on this particular vial, the writing he put on got smudged, so I only have a few letters to go by and the smell. But judging from all those, I concluded it would be Cuir Garamant. And this is a beautiful, beautiful rose with a lot of spices, similar to Pot of a Lady, but I don't smell that much incense. I think there could be some in there, not sure. But it's just this overdose of spices with a beautiful, beautiful rose put on top of a base of leather and oud. There is not too much oud in it, but I think it's noticeable, and the base of leather is just so beautiful. It's just a really, really good scent. The reason why it is an honorable mention is because I don't have it in my collection yet, and it is hard to find. Only on they only sell it on their online site and a few select retailers, so it's pricey as well. Therefore, I don't have it. The first regular entry into my top 5 list is Layton by Parfums de Marly, and this one is apple, lavender, a slight bit of a violet note on top of a rich vanilla. So this is a rather sweet masculine, but to me it's masculine nonetheless. And the reason why I like it is because it's different from usual sweet masculine fragrances. And I think it's pretty much wearable for many occasions. The only thing is that it's to my nose rather strong, and I just keep smelling it all the time, and this lasts for hours on end. So sometimes it's just too much for myself, so I wouldn't wear this every day. But it's a scent that I grown to love and that I find really intriguing and interesting. It also brings me to my second honorable mention, which is this one. It's Layton Exclusive, which takes the DNA of Layton and adds to it so many different layers. It adds oud and what I believe is civet, which makes this even more masculine, and but also makes it less variable. So what I mean by that is there are less situations where I would put this on. This would be a fragrance I would choose if I want to grab attention, if I want to be the center of attention, so to speak, and not for a regular day at work or at the university. So this would be way too much for that. But for a night out, for I don't know, maybe for a club, maybe for a evening dinner or something, this could be the right scent. Coming in at number 4 is Amouage's Jubilation 25. It is a sweet, rich mixture of berries and fruity notes in the top, and then there are a lot of spices in the middle, and woody notes as well as oud in the base. And this is just majestic. It starts really sweet, but the sweetness tones down and gives way to this really, really nice blend of spices, and that's what dominates the fragrance throughout its entire life, even into the dry down where you have more of this slightly oody and woody vibe. It's not a skanky or too strong oud, it just gives it more depth, and it adds to the texture of the sweetness without making it boring. Some people say that this is not the best projecting fragrance, and that is probably true. But I think with something as complex and sweet as this, you could run risk of choking people out. So I think I'm fine with this set, with both the projection and the longevity. This is just a really great fragrance that I'm looking forward to wear a lot in the fall. On position 3 we have Intoxicated by Kilian, which is actually the first blind buy I ever did on a fragrance. And in retrospect, I got lucky. I would not advise it to anyone. There is always a way to get samples. Coming to the fragrance, it is actually the scent I wore today. It's such a nice coffee with this huge dose of cardamom, other spices, and this creamy caramel that makes it smell pretty much like Turkish mocha with lots of sugar. And I'm not the biggest coffee drinker, but just the smell of coffee is something I always loved. And this Intoxicated by Kilian, to my nose, has the best coffee accord I have smelled so far. On position number 2, we have Spiritueuse Double Vanille by Guerlain, a fragrance that is well known in the fragrance community. It is this rich, deep, realistic vanilla with a rum base, and it starts off with different spices. It goes through a flowery midsection and then dries down to this vanilla and rum you smell pretty much all the time. It lasts forever, it projects pretty well, and it smells so good. I don't know if there's real vanilla in there, but it just smells like real vanilla, and it's just a genius concoction. It's so good. I want to have this since I first smelled it and pulled the trigger basically a month ago. I'm so happy to have this, and I'm so happy to wear this in the colder month when it is better suited. I know vanillas are not that easy to pull off for a man, but I don't care. My favorite fragrance for this upcoming fall, I'm going to stretch the niche definition a little bit. To my knowledge, Eau de New York is a clothing label that also has a fragrance line. However, those fragrances are not that widely available, and their price point is rather on the lower end of the niche spectrum. So I consider this to be a niche fragrance. The fragrance itself is number 07, or Tanoke by Eau de New York, and it has spices and pepper in the top, but what it's mostly about is this really nice incense with smoky woods. It reminds me of an old church building with the raw wooden benches soaked in the fumes of countless masses where they burned incense, and of candles that lit those buildings in the days of old. So if you like incense and woods, absolutely check this one out. If you don't, this might send you running, because as far as I know, this is a polarizing fragrance. Some people love it, other people absolutely cannot stand it, and I fall in the category of people who absolutely love this little concoction here. To me, it's perfectly executed spices, incense, and woods. And since I love all of those, this absolutely does it for me. This concludes my top 5 niche picks for the fall of 2018. What do you think about my list? And what are you going to wear this fall? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed my video, consider dropping me a like and subscribe for the future content I'll be putting out: fragrance reviews, opinions, and other lists. See you next time.